Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast, where wealth is energy, success is a mindset, and abundance is your birthright. I am Danielle Amos, your host and mentor, here to help you unlock prosperity, embody confidence, and manifest a life you love. Take a breath, align with your truth, and let's manifest millions. Welcome to this episode of the Mystic Millionaire podcast. My name is Danielle Amos, and I'm very honored and proud to bring you today's guest, Michelle Sorro. Michelle and I met through mutual friends, and she's in Austin, and I absolutely knew I needed to connect with her while I was here. You're absolutely going to love this episode. We go deep and actually pretty long in the bonus episode. For those of you who are subscribers, you're going to want to dive into the bonus episode where Michelle and I talk about what it means to be authentic and praying out loud and the power in that. And then in the episode, Michelle is big on trust and surrender. And we bring this into the conversation and how to actually do that. We talk about our tattoos. She has a tattoo about knowing who she is, and mine, trust yourself. And also radical responsibility and being honest with yourself, and how she's given up performing and instead being very present to where she is in life, and what it takes, the courage it takes to be present and then follow the guidance or intuition that she received from her higher self, from God, to completely pivot her business. This conversation will light you up, will give you the chills, and ask you to be more honest with yourself. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And to remember to go follow Michelle on Instagram. All of her details are in the show notes. And give us your review and share this episode if it resonates. Thanks for being here. Well, thank you for being on the Mystic Millionaire podcast, Michelle. Authentically you, showing up in your Birkenstocks and your beautiful jeans. And
You're welcome.
And gracing us with your presence.
Oh my goodness. My honor to be here, really. So lovely to finally connect with you too.
You too.
We have friends in common, so I was seeing some stuff from afar in the socials. And I was just like, oh, you have such a beautiful light. Really happy to connect.
Thank you. So you talk a lot about surrender
Yeah.
and trust. So, and we were talking behind the scenes about what it looks like to surrender. And you recently said that you've been calling God your business partner, and that came to you at an altar. So at your altar, how have you been surrendering to that truth that God is your business partner in like real life, like practical ways?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Such a good question. I just want to clarify one thing. I call God my business partner because I sincerely asked God to be my business partner, and then I waited. And I do know that I got a yes. Like, of course, like as if, right?
So would you, for our listeners, would you encourage, if they feel called, obviously, to ask that same question? And do you believe that anyone would get a no?
No,
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah.
That thing is, I sat there waiting here, not just assuming,
Yeah.
right? But yes, I think there is, for me, a very general assumption that God is infinitely vast and we are an emanation of the Most High. So it's actually a rhetorical, let's be clear, the other ways, right? But there was something about that time where I was about to quantum leap in my business in a way around price point and how many women ultimately I wanted to work with versus sort of the far and wide business model that definitely works for so many. And I may return to that one day, but what was calling me forward was to go deep and narrow. And I had ideas of what that might look like, and I was scared.
Yeah.
And so I was like calling on like the troops And so I was at my personal sacred altar just saying, is that
It's
possible?
it's actually really challenging, isn't it, when you get that intuition to
Yeah.
completely shift when it doesn't make a whole lot of logical sense,
Yeah.
but you know that this is what's calling you. And so I love how you call in the truths to
Calling the troops.
to
Reinforcement to
confirm.
remind
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
what I'm already getting in the downloads anyway. I think I heard you talk about this in your early episodes, and I love this story about when you were putting on the food festival and how, that hit came to you because it was supposed to come to you because you were the soul that it was supposed to come through, right? And if you don't act on it, you being the sort of euphemistic you, then you'll see someone else probably in 6 months who's doing that. And it's because, yeah, you didn't it wasn't time or it wasn't in resonance or it didn't, whatever might have happened, right? But yeah, there's something that wants to come through and I do it all the time now. So I'm in such deep relationship with this. So I'm really happy that you asked because I've never thought about this. But like, what does that look like in practical terms? It's not going to sound very practical. It is every time a thought comes up of like, is another client going to come or what's next year look like or just all the old programming, right?
Yep.
The hustle culture, the doingness. I'm like, shh, stop, go out and like sit under the tree.
Love it.
Just sit under the tree and listen. Yeah.
Get quiet, slow down.
That's it. And then I get into the vibration and the embodiment of relaxation. And it's not always easy. One of the things that helps me almost every day, and thank goodness I live in Austin because there's a lot of sun, but really early in the morning, I believe and have been told that my star lineage is the sun, central sun, the spiritual center of the universe. And I speak the light language, not for business, but just as a remembrance and an activation and not for performance by any means. It's mine, it's personal. My sister and I, though, spoke it for 3 years when we were little girls.
Wow.
But yeah, so the sun for me, putting my face to the sun in prayer and meditation virtually every morning in humility and joy, of like, and also those sunbeams will pour into me. And it's that soft frequency, that divine mist almost that's not too hot yet, even in August, but like at 6 a.m. pouring into me and it activates me into remembrance. So that helps. But like even last year, like I had my strongest, highest grossing year in business to date, 7 years of being in this space. But I had 3 signature offerings that were digital offerings, bespoke podcasts, helping people learn how to be on live video, something that you do very naturally, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I'd work with like president candidates and all kinds of people, right? Not just people on, doing our work and then teaching you how to create and market and sell authentically your first digital offering. So I could be working with an MD, a chiropractor, like the range. And I got a very slow but clear message in November, December when I couldn't get my team to get the marketing going. I couldn't get anything around it going. And I just thought, I guess I'm just supposed to just chill more, And then by January, I was like, we are normally launching by the 3rd week of January because it's like a trifecta. One feeds the next, and then that will just build out the year. It's been doing that for 7 years. And by mid-January, I was like, they're not happening. I'm retiring all of this. It was a subtle divine directive that I started hearing in really late October, but that I couldn't fully reconcile because it didn't look good on paper, right? And well, where will all of these women come from? And so even though I'd already had the whole conversation around the thing a year and a half earlier, yes, I have private clients and they are dream clients and that's beautiful. But I still have these offerings, like they're good. I believe in these products. Why would I do anything with them? But it was time to let them go. There was someone else that was going to wave that flag in that way. I had done it really well and I'm proud of what we created. And then I've just watched this year, we're like 25% ahead. We're not quite halfway through the year of last year.
Amazing.
And I work about 24 hours a month.
Wow.
So that for me is just what my path needs right now.
Yeah.
This is not for everyone, but the divine surrender and trust is honoring those calls, those divine directives, those little soul whispers and nudges. And if they're calling, they're going to keep calling. Letting the ego take a little nap because that was so hard of like, what? Like, what if like no one even likes on a social post because I'm not really working with the masses right anymore? And it was like, trust. So just constantly recalibrating my nervous system to what that actually feels like.
Yeah, and reminding yourself of that. Like if I keep hearing the word trust. And then you said something powerful when the doubt creeps in and you recognize it and you go sit under a tree. And so the slowing down, that's pretty much the opposite of what we're taught
Yeah.
to do in
To
hustle
overcome it.
culture. Right. Yeah.
Overcome it.
Yeah.
Like if you
Like
can't, you
go,
must.
if you have doubts, like go take more action. Go like override it
How has
with
that worked out
action.
for us?
Yeah. Not good.
A lot of burnout
Yeah.
happening right now, right? So what's happening in the collective, you know, what we think we know and what we probably don't know, all the ways. It's a beautiful reflection of where we are internally, you know? And so the hustle culture and the push, do, you know, force, prove, perform, it's crumbling. And it's hard to be with that in our own lives because it can be scary. But if we know that we are held, and if we remember who we are, and when we forget, we have our rituals and our practices and or our people. But quite frankly, it can't be a person. It can't even be like a coach. I've got a great team around me, like who I go to, like help, SOS, right? It's happened once in like 2 years, to be honest, only because I take it inward and I first like, what is happening in my body? How is my nervous system processing this thought? When did it begin? What's the sensation? What's the emotion? And I just turn inward. And oftentimes it happens in my shower.
Yeah.
Because I'll notice like, or if I'm blow drying my hair, I'm like rushing. And I'm like, what is that? Why am I rushing the shampoo? And I'm like, oh, so hand on my heart, hand on my belly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, in my body, I'm noticing. I look for the sensation, just a somatic check-in.
Yeah.
And I'm experiencing what is the emotion. And that helps me. So when the doubt comes in, I'd like to first come home to my body and to wake up to what my body is trying to say. My nervous system is like, hello, I'm scared. I want to freeze. I want to fight. I want to flight. I'm going to fawn, right?
Yeah.
And so if I can actually get present enough and slow down enough, and there's that, to just check in, then I'm like, oh gosh, wow, that's like old, but you're here. Okay. And I just allow it to be.
Yeah.
And we change our relational dynamic with it. The more that we just embrace it, you get to exist. Come on in, ribbon, right?
Yeah. Love on it. And then from there, transmute it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we become actually embodied. And this is where we can stand firm in our real power. That's humility.
When you transmute an energy or a feeling that you have that comes up or heal something from when, let's say, you were 12 or 13, and there's wisdom in that, right? You're like taking the golden nugget, you're seeing the diamond or like the pearl that's there, that's been created because of that experience.
Yeah.
What do you do to personally walk with that wisdom?
Beautiful question. Because that's the gene keys,
Yeah.
life happening for us. It's moments like this. It's being present. I don't think that any information heals or uplifts or inspires. I think it's presence. And it's presence with every single person that we come across. And I'm not always good at it, by the way. I go to a pup park every night, and I really like a lot of the people that bring their pups.
Oh,
Pups, yes.
I heard
It's in the neighborhood. And I have a pup who's like my child,
Yeah.
little Samson. He just turned 8. He's a mini Labradoodle, and he's incredibly kind, and he's a shaman pup. So the whole thing, we do a lot of ceremonies together. And there's other people and pups, you know, but it's the neighborhood park. And so I notice when I'm not feeling my inner stability, my center, I start to like do my little subtle hierarchies of this person, that person, like the way we do, right?
Of course.
And so the way that I can bring myself back in that moment, so living that wisdom of, okay, I know what's happening here, right? The hypervigilance is out. I don't mean for it to be. It's just this pattern that can show up in moments. And I review my day. I'm like, yeah, I had a full day. Okay. I probably need a little bit of rest before I came here. Just starting to check in.
Yeah.
Right? What did I eat? Oh, yep. That, whatever that was,
Yeah.
is not helping what's happening in my body. And so then I just literally take a moment and I close my eyes just ever so briefly. No one knows. It's just like, remind my little girl I'm safe. Right? So when she knows she's safe, which is just all the shadows, all the ego, all that beautiful innate wisdom, it's like, okay, right? And then it can be a little bit more fun. And I am here to spread a lot of love and light. And I know that, right? I'm from the sun, like literally.
Yeah.
And, but I also know that we can only know our light to the degree that we know our darkness. And so I'm no longer afraid of it, but I don't dwell in it, which is, yeah. So the wisdom it gets expressed, I think, through presence and through heart listening. And yeah, probably that more so than anything, now that I think about it. I'm like feeling into it because
Yeah.
I can't think about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's happening to me right now? Like, this is the wisdom pouring through me, living through me. And it's like, my heart is open. I feel at ease in my nervous system. And I'm connected with you in the present moment, right? And I can take this in. And God, what would happen if we just all took a little extra moment to do that? We wouldn't wish harm on anyone, no matter how they voted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I got the pull to like really breathe, each of us, and be present.
Yes. Yeah.
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 And allow the judgment to go away of others, and most importantly ourselves first, because then it comes out, in other ways towards others.
Exactly. And anyone, this is why I love Danielle Laporte so much. And I don't know enough of your content. So forgive me if you're not speaking about this, but I know you always try to weave in, we got to feel it. We got to feel it. I have heard that many times. And I'm like, yes, Danielle, yes, good. Wait, we're my friends.
Well, yeah, not bypass it, not push it
Exactly.
away. Yeah, and I noticed that in my world where people thought that I was saying or teaching not to feel, because we can control our thoughts and lead to our feelings, but it's not to ignore the feelings that are there,
Yeah.
but to bring it back instead, that you do have control. And if you can consciously, you said this a few times, it's like, be aware of what's going on here. So it's like you're outside yourself witnessing.
Beautiful. My root teacher, Ram Dass, he's always talking about the observer, right? That
Yeah.
conscious loving awareness. And playing the witness is a powerful tool in living the wisdom, especially when you're like, I'm not really in the gift right now. So just witnessing, like, oh, look at me taking, the park time so seriously in that given moment, right? Or whatever we might want to do to not really show where we truly are, right? Like, oh, I can see that, and then just seeing it actually starts to dissolve so much of that armor of what we're so afraid of what someone might think. And I think that's the biggest thing, in the leadership space right now in conscious spiritual communities, there's a lot of reshuffling. There's a lot of transparency coming through. And this is what I wanted to say about our friend Danielle Laporte, what I really honor about her process, that she is literally living out loud in front of everyone. And that takes incredible bravery and courage. I think at this point she's like, it's just who she is.
Yeah.
But it didn't start there.
Yeah.
If you've been following her path for a while, you've seen the evolution. And she's taken down mask after mask, and I think really led the way for so many others to do the same. So these days, if I'm watching anyone that I used to admire and they're not talking about shadow, their own, not someone else's, their own, how that plays out in their homes, their teams, I don't trust
Yeah.
what I'm hearing, because they're not yet willing. And there's no judgment on this, by the way. I really mean this. They just haven't yet been willing to take a look, maybe at themselves, because it's way safer to look at others, or they're not wanting to be that radically honest, right? And then to share it.
Yeah.
And maybe they will, maybe they won't. But the ones who do, some would call them an unraveling hot mess. And I'm like, that person, take note. That person is leading the way with authenticity, and just beautiful, light-filled courage.
I love that. I think the hot mess can be really beautiful. I say it slightly differently. Like, I talk about being in the messy middle right now. Like, I'm definitely in the messy middle.
Ooh, can you share what that
Yeah.
means for you, like in real time?
Yeah, well, I'm right now going through a divorce,
Yeah.
and I have a picture of the end.
Yeah.
And I mean the end in a way of like where my family, meaning my ex-husband, my daughter, and myself, what that looks like on the other side of it being like a beautiful, amicable split. And that's the picture that I created. And I'm not experiencing that in this present moment.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's the messy middle. I know and I believe that because we are all one, and I can see his beauty and within me, within him, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I know that's where we ultimately get to go, and that this is the middle part of us cleaning up, or me cleaning up and taking radical responsibility and shifting and coming back to love and watching, like observing myself and how I respond. And
Mm.
and I'm really watching myself get pulled back into many times like the very like 3D low vibrations of what it means to be in a legal system, what it means to work with lawyers, like very, people that don't necessarily understand the
Natural law.
yeah, and watching myself play in that game and then bringing myself back up to like what truth is. So it's like I go back and forth. So when I'm in the messy middle, I think the messy middle is so necessary to get us to the other side. Like it's what we lean into to grow and to give us the wisdom and the power and the, I guess, to move through to your point of the gene keys through the karma to the dharma, right?
Yeah, and what's coming through for me, if I may, is what if it stays messy? What if right now it feels really good and really right and aligned to have this beautiful vision of what's possible for the future? That feels so clean and clear and seems like that would be in the highest and best for all. But what if it really isn't in the highest and best for your journey, right? That's that trust part.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting the chills. Like,
Yeah.
not because I said that, it came through, but also where in my life do I have this idea, how it's all going to unfold in perfect utopia? And I'm like, I don't know if that's in my highest and best, or if it's in the highest and best for him, or all these other people that are involved and have their hands in it. So can I just be with what is? Oh, there's this beautiful teaching. Reverend Michael Beckwith, he was my teacher for 18 years in LA at Agape. Very close friends with Bob Proctor.
Yes, I know. I
Bob
know
came to the
Michael.
church many times. Oh, and yeah.
Such
And
a small world, isn't
such
it?
a small world. I know,
Just
I know.
that
I'm so
like,
excited that we've met. 'Cause
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Same.
I'm gonna have you on my show and like just see where the light takes us. But Reverend Michael Beckwith, my teacher for 18 years. I mean, I did a non-accredited degree with them. Like I thought I was gonna be a practitioner. I thought I was gonna be a reverend. This was a really big part of my life. And now I realize, oh, looking back, connecting all the dots is kind of what I do.
Yeah.
But it's not it's not, there's no title.
Yes.
But I am a spiritual guide, I guess. It's so interesting. I can't even handle titles these days. I'm sure you probably
Yeah,
relate.
yeah.
But anyway, he says, anytime, at any point in our lives, just to ask the one question, which is, what's trying to emerge in my life right now? That's that messy middle, right? Not in a year or 2 years from now when everything is settled and everyone's on the same page. But what's trying to emerge in my life right now that maybe I don't want to see, I want to numb out to, I want to ignore, bypass, pretend it's not there in all the ways that we do, right? Lately, I've been eating a lot more of my feelings, and I was like, oh, but I feel like it truly is the menopause too. But still, like, okay, so what's trying to emerge in my life? Can I also be with this maybe temporary shape? Maybe not. I don't know, and it's so real.
Yeah.
It's so real. And so it's like, yeah, so the messy middle, what if that was forever? I don't know. I have no idea.
And how, yeah.
That is so deep, by the way.
Think about like, yeah, can I be with that? Yes, I
Oh,
can.
you could. Of
I
course
can.
you can. You have the capacity to expand
Yeah.
on what feels unbearable right now and unfair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfair, like unjust, not right. And yet you are this infinite divine badass, who's like, all right, so if this is it, if this is all you got, it's not going to take away from
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. I was just
Ooh,
going to say that.
chills.
Like
Yes.
how can it be as is and I still am in my light. I'm still in my power. So it doesn't take me out.
Yes.
And
This is actually so cool. I want to weave in Kyle Cease. He's also a friend who just moved to Austin. He said, the now, he says it all the time, is so much more profound than anything I could have planned or that I might have planned, right? So this now to really be embodied in like, okay, if this is it, let me be with this, right? The power in that, not wanting to shift it, change it, fix it, shuffle it,
to be okay. Yeah.
not only be okay, but to actually be stable and standing firm in the truth of who you are. That's Jesus right there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, and I'm learning it all the time, a perfect little catalyst, I call them, that show up in my life right at the perfect moment where just when I thought I got that little one. And it's not to humble me. I don't even know if I believe in testing, but it's just like, okay, let me show you, and you get to choose how you respond. And then the relational dynamic between what was once an activated karma in that way, or are you refining into more of the dharmic path, right? So I'm just like so excited about life right now.
Yeah.
You said something recently on one of your podcasts, and you were talking about enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that so much, and the distinction between excitement and enthusiasm, and how excitement can be like fast and fleeting. And enthusiasm is, I think you said, honoring the divine spark within, the aliveness of the divine spark within. And I literally wrote it down, and I didn't know if we would even chat about it, but it just feels like that's what we're really talking about here.
Yes.
Everything else is just life,
Yeah.
including what's going on in our world right now. Shut the news off, go out to the tree, listen to the birds, recalibrate to your truth, put the sun on your face, right? Like, have really yummy, nourishing conversations with those that can be with it all, not just the ones that want to just stay in the light, probably not going to serve us, right? When we're in it, we need to be with someone who has the capacity to be in it too, but would never, ever let us stay there, and knows that we're committed to not staying there,
Yeah,
right?
that's
But to
huge.
honor why it's there. To honor why it's there, because that is the shadow work.
Yeah.
That is the real integration. So the messy middle, I think, is the only thing it is. And if we think it's ever going to be anything other than that in the future, we might be missing the whole beautiful gift of what's happening right now.
That's good. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I needed it too.
Yeah.
Whomever, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
For me, that's the relationships that I have and the people I'm calling into my life in this phase of my life
Yes.
is all about what you've been describing. So,
I love it.
meaning that the conversations are very conscious
Yeah.
in what I'm dealing with or what comes up in that relationship because of the dynamics
Yeah.
and how to sit with it. And how many times I've gone back, like we'll be having a conversation or said something and then gone back and like, wait a minute, that was old. That was like an old thing. And I'm like absolutely loving this phase. I've never had
Mm.
maybe the last year and a half relationships where I've been so present in it and the ability to go back and have these beautiful conversations like what we're having today.
Yeah.
And I feel so blessed. Like, and I encourage like others to have these kind of conversations. Like one conversation can literally change what comes next. And it feels like an incredible gift to be in that, to be awake in this. Does that make sense?
The people that you have in your life and the capacity that you've all cultivated to be in those waters with that depth and that honesty, that is an earned process. And so it really speaks to where you are and the work that you do and the path that you're on and those that you have magnetized into your field. And so for those that are so new on the path, they're like, what? That is not my life. It's gossiping, complaining. It's a lot of numbing, right? Beautiful. Start exactly where you are, right? Because a lot of that pushing, especially for high achieving, high impact, visionary women, there can be a real subtle hierarchy. I know for me, because it was there, and it can still show up when I'm stressed or anxious, of control and dominance, right? And I'm so familiar with that frequency now that I'm like, oh, sometimes I almost don't catch it. It's so sneakster. So the people who are listening, like, yeah, I got some of that too. Or it's more overt, right? Like, yeah, it's kind of everywhere, if I'm honest. Like when we have our happy hours, like that's kind of the stuff we do. Just happens, right? It's like the only way out is through. We know, like all these little bumper sticker phrases, but it's time to embody them, right? Like, hi, New Age, thank you. And we've gotten the information. Now it's time to take it into body. So it really does come down to taking it inward, doing our own inner work so that we cultivate that inner stability and we trust ourselves to be able to see ourselves, first ourselves, shine the light on all the parts of me that are messy and ugly and stressed and scared and all the things, right? Like I did this morning in the closet, and it was so short. And after it lasted like literally like maybe 2 minutes, and I literally said to my little girl, I was like, good for you, getting out of that so fast, right? Like,
Yeah.
because it's like, it's so funny how this stuff can come up. So yeah, we got to build it within. And when we do, then we can have the conversations. And I have a friend who's a beautiful trauma and somatics masterful teacher. And I said, does healing have to be hard, Will? Will Reason, founder of Trauma and Somatics. He's incredible. And he runs a really affordable membership for somatics. Anyway, I'm not an affiliate. I just love his work. He's like, no, thank you for asking. Just needs to be honest, right? So that's what we're really talking about here. It's this honesty, and it requires being honest with ourselves.
I think a lot of people shy away from this work because they assume it has to be hard.
Yes, I know for sure.
You know?
The unraveling has to be hard, and all of it's hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be honest. I'm willing to do hard work. Marriage is hard work. Is it hard, or maybe we can just have it be honest, right? Like, I don't know. I'm starting to really be with this. It's been about a year now, and I'm just like, yeah, there's definitely times where it feels hard. And then I'm like, okay, so that's what my high self knows I need right now.
Yeah.
Gonna just put me in the sludge. It's gonna feel like I'm going slow or even going backwards. But I'm being refined because I'm willing to be with it. And I'm gonna actually, well, this is what I do. I don't really know if anyone else would do this, but I will just cancel the day. And I know it's time to turn inward. I can't push through the way I used to. And then when I come out on the other side, if I had to reschedule on a client, which has only happened once, by the way, in the past year and a half, it was a whole day and then a whole next day of podcast recordings. And every single person said, I learned from you because of that.
Yeah.
Thank you for modeling
you listen.
that you had no capacity. You had no spaciousness to meet me where I need you to meet me. I'm paying you to meet me, right? And you're like, I gotta go inward right now. So yeah, so it doesn't have to be hard. It just needs to be honest. Healing doesn't have to be hard. It just needs to be honest.
You said a line that I tattooed to my arm.
Oh my God, I love it.
Last summer. It's been about a year.
They go together, my friend, because I got this. Remember who you are. And it's so cool that we both got them on our forearm, because I thought, as much for me as it is maybe someone I'm having lunch with and sees it, but when I remember who I am, I can trust myself. And maybe when we trust ourselves, we can remember who we are. Like, it goes together. And so it all sounds so bumper stickery, right? It really does. But the truth is that everything we're talking about here today is divine, and there is that frequency. But think about God and just how powerful, right? Like, not afraid of anything. Fear is me practicing atheism. Truly. Yeah. I actually want to give Cody Sanchez, she's a beautiful coach on Instagram that well, she's a coach in life, but like wants to create a whole lot of female billionaires, which isn't necessarily my path, but I love that that's her mission. And she posted that one day, and I was like, yeah, when I'm practicing worry, doubt, and fear, I'm practicing atheism. That was cool.
Not remembering who you are, what you are.
Yeah, exactly.
When I tattooed this to my arm, the gentleman that did it, he said, so usually words are a little more dainty and not as big on the arm. And I said, I need to be reminded.
I love, though, it feels perfect.
Yeah.
It feels the right size. It feels feminine. It feels powerful. I love it. Yeah.
I love yours too.
Thank you.
Hand in hand. So you're on the Mystic Millionaire podcast.
Yeah.
And I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Rapid fire questions to end.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. The first one is abundance in one word. Go.
God.
Boom.
I've gotta drink my water too.
Good. The second is, what is your guilt-free pleasure that allows you to stay, it's non-negotiable, that allows you to stay in
Sacred rest.
abundance? Yeah.
Sacred rest. Lots of sleep, lots of nothingness. I don't take a client before noon.
Oh, wow.
I wake up about 6.
Yeah, you said you work 24 hours a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm in the multiple 6-figure business.
Yeah.
And I got a small team.
Yeah.
A copywriter who is still my copywriter. There's a lot of shuffling right now with AI. And also we use AI for certain things that make life easier, like podcast show notes and things like that. And then we're fine. A podcast editor and a VA who helps me with all the back end stuff when I need it. But the business has become so intimate, I don't need a whole lot of team. And I also realized there was a lot of ego driving big team for a while there. Yeah. So I don't need that either. And I'm not looking to do multiple 7 figures in a year like I used to. That was a really big thing that was satiating my 13-year-old that wanted to know she mattered and was worthy. Yeah. Right? All the ways in which we seek love. But yeah, so sacred rest is, like working with the people that it's a really aligned fit. And it feels very destined.
And I get the feeling like it's such an honor. Like
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my
that's
God. Like,
great.
it's an honor. We are in sacred reciprocity and we're both aware of it. I'm getting the chills. And I don't know why I always say I'm getting the chills, but I feel so humbled to be in such communication with the divine, It's like, oh yeah, like it's like a reminder, it's an amplification for me is what happens, And then I just say it like a little girl, like,
I love it though.
yeah,
That's good. It's like
yeah.
a little wink from God,
And also when we're really embodied in our, and whatever it might be, our truth, our faith, our love, our light, we are childlike with all that wonder and awe. We would never take another tree for granted. We would never take another bird in flight, or even be able to recognize what bird that is or a flower in bloom. Like, it's all beautiful. So sacred rest. It is a non-negotiable. Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. You only have one book that you can read for the rest of your life.
Gene Keys.
Okay.
Yeah. Gene Keys. Yeah, for right now, we're asking this in June in 2025. Right now, it's the Gene Keys. Actually, the complimentary books, the Gene Keys book, I love, but it's really around understanding what the spheres are and what the lines mean. So that's a whole nother love language that someone might be activated by. But yeah, Gene Keys right now.
Thank you. Michelle, thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time, your presence, your gift, your wisdom, your heart, and for seeing me.
Likewise. It's so wonderful to be seen by someone who has the capacity to see. So thank you for honoring me.
Any last words for our guest?
Breathe. Just breathe. These times are no joke. They're very destabilizing for a lot of people that look like they have it all figured out. And then there are a lot of people, it's just very clear, not. But we're all kind of walking the path in the same way. And we need each other. So just breathe. And remember that you got you. Oh, get emotional. I'm so tender right now. The solar flares have me so emotional. And God's got you. When all else fails and you're pretty certain you don't have you are absolutely held by God.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you to our listeners.